Welcome to Small Business Stories. I am Mike Downhour with the Monroe Chamber of Commerce with Quentin Durr from Louisiana Catalyst. With us right now, Rick Greene with this place called Moxey. Rick, first of all, welcome to Small Business Stories.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Appreciate it.
Rick, what is a Moxey?
So Moxey is several different things. It is a network of small businesses. It's also a currency, but it's really more defined as a private economy for small business owners to help them grow, get new customers, and save cash. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Okay, so this is, to explain it, I would probably say the closest word I can think to explain Moxey is a form of barter. Is that fair?
That's exactly what it is. The concept of bartering has been around for a long, long time, and it usually involves two people, one-on-one, that have a trust and two things that they have an immediate need for. Where Moxey comes in is we help connect people that may or may not know what they do or where they're from or the products that they have. So we act as a liaison and a person of connecting to help our members find people that have things they need, whether it be electricity, HVAC services, plumbers, parking lot restriping, embroidery, shirts, advertising opportunities, medical needs, estheticians, dancing people, all of those things are a part of our network, and we help connect members to help them save cash by using other Moxey members.
And how do you join Moxey?
So it's a simple process. You sign an agreement. You don't ever sign a contract. You're never locked into anything. We just simply ask that you treat people the way you want to be treated. And if someone comes to you and says, hey, I saw you in the Moxey network, then you immediately see a value by being a part of this closed network. Whatever you charge for anybody in cash, you charge Moxey dollars for. So when I go to Waterfront Grill and the shrimp Rocky is $19.95 in cash, I pay $19.95 in Moxey. The server will get tips from me as well. So when they're waiting on more tables, they're making more tips. And that's really all you need to do. You just have to have a product or a service that people have a need for, and you're eligible to join the network. It's for small business owners. It's not for every single person in the community.
Yeah, so I guess that was going to be my question. Like, is there an industry that it's a better fit for, or is it good for any different? That's one of the questions I always had or had people ask me was, if there's service based or if it's retail, or does that matter, or what have y'all seen the best use case for?
It typically doesn't matter as long as the member sees a true value in getting new customers and new business. Okay, now they have this supplemental currency that they have on top of what they're already doing on a cash basis. So if you're an HVAC guy and someone needs a compressor and it's $2,000 and they pay you $2,000 Moxey, that person probably not would have come to you in the first place in order to do business with you because you weren't a part of the Moxey network. The people that truly get to benefit more are the ones that have a higher margin, or people that do piano lessons or consulting, or warehouses that have storage units. Every single business person in the world has an inventory, whether it be empty tables at your restaurant, your consulting services, your Airbnb that sits empty for maybe 2-3 months out of the year. Every single person in a business has inventory. And if your inventory is not being fully used to the capacity of making you as much maximizing your income, then you have the ability to supplement what you're doing with a Moxey customer here and there. It's never designed to take over your Moxey or your business because everybody has costs. Rent, mortgages, insurance on your car, whatever it may be, you have those hard costs that you have to incur whether you're Moxey or not. So yes, it'll help certain categories of businesses better, but in reality, it can help everybody that has a business.
Okay. So you could see it almost like you see a lot of, I guess in my mind, I'm like, if in the mindset companies offer loyalty programs and things, but that's just a hard cost. At least with this, you are getting some revenue in a sense back to spend, so it's not just a cost, you're actually still making money too. So,
absolutely.
So
and
that
so
would be the benefit.
When you look at buying my product as a restaurateur on a wholesale basis and then selling it on a retail basis, then you can see the value of those dollars to say, I can take in these Moxey dollars rather than having an empty table.
Right.
And to take it a step further is that anybody who has a business banking account with Origin Bank that uses their Moxey is not using as much cash and leaving more money in their Origin Bank account.
I like where you're going with that. I like that.
So there's so many different layers to this network to say, how can I be intentional about using Moxey rather than using cash?
Right.
And it's very, very valuable to use on certain things that don't generate income for you. Pest control, getting your parking lot restriped, having your fire extinguishers looked at, Vent-A-Hood cleaning, getting your menus printed, things that are behind the scenes that don't always generate you income,
right,
but make your business better off.
Well, let's peel this Moxey onion back even more. I know of a business that needed access to Saints tickets and lodging in New Orleans and even beyond. Moxey is North Louisiana, right? But you had the ability to even go farther with my Moxey membership.
Absolutely. I'm fortunate enough to manage the network all on I-20 in North Louisiana, including Shreveport, Bossier, Ruston, Farmerville, Columbia, West Monroe, and I'm very blessed. Been doing it for 7 years. That is just a small part of our entire Moxey community that includes Memphis, Birmingham, Gulfport, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, and all told it's about 3,000 members. Each one of those members also has the ability to say, you know, honey, that canoe's in our backyard and we haven't used it in 2 years. Let's sell it on Moxey. So they can get a full retail sale out of that rather than discounting it on a marketplace somewhere. So I've not been able to use my LSU football tickets in weeks before, and I'll put them on the network to say who wants my LSU tickets, and I sell them on Moxey. So anything is available to be sold via Moxey, and I'll give you a quick example. One of the members in South Baton Rouge just sold $80,000 worth of land and took Moxey for it.
For a land,
wow,
real estate.
For land.
Wow.
There was a $40,000 roof that was done by some members down in South Louisiana. So there is ample ways to peel back that onion, as long as you feel a little bit of intentionality towards it, but also if you're a business owner and you feel a little uncomfortable, like how am I going to make my insurance payment this month? Well, if I go out to eat and I use Moxey, then I save cash and I can make payments on certain things. So there's a lot of different ways to utilize your dollar, and that's where we come in as liaisons and resources, is to help people figure that out.
One of the things I like is that small business is already so tough. Our margins are so thin that one bad pandemic, one bad issue can literally cost us our business here. Moxey to the rescue with individual items like you'd already mentioned there.
Yeah, there's so many stories, including when Waterfront was shut down for a week, they used their Moxey to get the interior painted. So instead of shutting down for a week like during normal business and getting their interior painted, they did it during the pandemic and used Moxey dollars, which freed up some of their cash to continue to buy the to-go boxes and all the things they needed to stay afloat. When we had a storm 2 weeks ago, one of our members had storm damage and literally water dumping into his house. So he called the Quality Inn and Suites and stayed there for a week and a half and used Moxey dollars, which allowed him to feel a little bit better about, right, hey, my house is going to get fixed. I'm not spending a ton of money in cash to stay somewhere while my home is being repaired. So there's so many stories like that that can inspire you to say this is a truly helping network and not any kind of multi-level marketing or direct sales thing where we require you to do things. It's just a great way to be a part of a private community of people that want to do business with each other.
Rick, you mentioned LSU. Talk to us a little bit about your past and your history with those Tigers.
Well, it goes back to my days in Miami, and my high school coach played at the University of Miami when Skip Bertman was an assistant there. So Skip came up to LSU in the early 80s. I graduated from high school in 89 and was drafted out of high school by the Yankees, but declined them and went to LSU and played there for 3 years. Won a national championship, was a part of the 92 Olympic team in Barcelona, and then got drafted again in 1992 by the Detroit Tigers, and jumped around the minor leagues and had a very nice career and got to the big leagues for a very short time.
But you made it.
But I made it, and I'm okay with that. And, made amazing friendships and, watched my kids grow up and had a great career, went back to school and got my degree after my career was over. And through various, ways and means and twists and turns, wound up in Monroe. My wife's from up this way, so been here for about 10 years now, and I love it. There's no traffic,
not comparatively to Baton Rouge.
Compared to Baton Rouge, but it also allows me to be, hands-on with a lot of the things that I do. And I heard a long time ago a quote from a friend of mine that said, "The best ability is availability." So I tried to be as hands-on and face-to-face and accessible to the members as much as possible. So I appreciate that and the fact that I'm here. And I think being on stage in the baseball sense has allowed me to, be a better communicator and a better talker in person in front of crowds, and also one-to-one as well. So here we are.
Yeah, and I'll say this: I see Rick almost everywhere I go. If there's
Ribbon cuttings, you got that right.
And that's just not Monroe. That is, like I said, across I-20. I know we've run in Shreveport at different events and ribbon cuttings, or Ruston to Monroe. So you definitely put in the work and cover the I-20.
Well, I just figured that if I'm going to be the face of Moxey in North Louisiana, then it's a difficult task to do behind a desk. And so getting yourself out there and being accessible and being transparent goes a long way for people to know that they can call, and I'll be there as quick as I can. And sometimes there are phone calls, but other times face to face really goes a long way.
What's been your biggest challenge with Moxey? I mean, you've brought an incredible service to this area, to all along I-20. What's been your biggest challenge with that?
So the first challenge is a lot of business owners tend to be of the nature of, I don't need help. And I understand that.
Or what's the catch?
Or what's the catch? And this is a scam. And, it takes a lot for entrepreneurs and people that do a lot of things independently to ask for help. And that's exactly what we do, is we help. We don't require that you do anything different, from your POS to your accounting to anything different. The IRS looks at Moxey dollars as cash dollars. So you don't have to do anything else. You use your Moxey like you would normally use your cash on your business, and you get to write that off as a business expense. We've got CPAs and payroll people, accountants, and all types of people that are in the network as well to act as resources for some people that have those questions. Another pushback we get is that we can't spend our Moxey everywhere, and I get that. But the reality is there is enough of a network here and regionally to allow you to spend your dollars certain places in order to save dollars. And it's not a perfect system, but it works really well. And I'll give you another example of that, is that we don't have a car dealership in the Moxey network. However, about 5 or 6 years ago, the guy that is the director of the Baton Rouge network kept a spreadsheet of all the Moxey that he spent over the course of a year. And he saved up enough cash to buy a car. So he went to the dealership in December with a check in hand and said, "I want that vehicle right there. How much is it?" And wrote out a check of the money that he had saved by using Moxey to purchase a car. And the same thing can be said for paying Cisco or Reinhardt or U.S. Foods or Robertson Produce. The same can be said for paying, other vendors within your organization that things you absolutely need to run your business, but you can't pay Moxey for. So we're talking about people that have used Moxey for weddings, to pay off debt, to pay off equipment in their business, to pay off kids' tuitions, to pay off things that they need in order to run their life better. And using those dollars means you're freeing up cash. And that is a big leverage piece for small business owners.
You've come a long way in 7 years. What does the next 3, 5, 7 year period look like for Moxey, for you, and for this area?
So Monroe will always continue to have its peaks and valleys. We've gone from about 70 members when I first started to about 500 now. And not every one of those members actually is super engaged. It's just the 80-20 rule with every business. However, when there's a new owner or someone sells or someone moves, there's always fluctuations in the market. Shreveport has a vibrant small business community that is ripe for the taking. The Baton Rouge network has about 700 members and does about 11 million a year. And the Shreveport market is very similar to that. So there's 2,100 restaurants in Shreveport and Bossier that are locally owned. So now we can utilize our Moxey network and connections to get in there and help those people as well. The idea from the Moxey president would be nationwide, but this concept is a business intangible that takes certain time for people to understand and feel and get. Rarely do I walk into someone cold call and they sign up. It has to be nurtured.
Educational.
It has to be educational. Right. And even people that are members still don't always understand it. So,
as a chamber, we are members of Moxey. We have members that pay by Moxey.
Absolutely. So, you have X amount of members, and it will never overtake your members that pay you cash, but it's going to supplement you on certain things. So, grocery report, I would like to see Tyler, Texas, maybe, and even Little Rock or El Dorado. And so when you're looking at smaller towns that have this community feel like Monroe, West Monroe does, that's perfect for a Moxey type community. So sky's the limit, in all honesty. So, I'll be around here. My youngest will graduate in 7 years from high school, and then you never know.
Well, we can't say all the benefits of being a Moxey member without telling them how they can do this. If somebody's viewing right now, how do I become a Moxey member?
So you can go to moxeyusa.com and apply, fill out the paperwork, and it usually gets forwarded to me, depending on where you are in the region. You can always call me at 318-545-2450 and set up a meeting and sit down and ask me the hard questions. Sit down with your business partner or your spouse, or bring your CPA, and just ask the questions. And I haven't had an objection yet that doesn't have a true, honest, real answer to say, that's a misconception and this is a reality. So if you have a product where you make sock puppets and you want to sell those, you're probably a good fit. If you have an HVAC company or a high-end restaurant, or you own an Airbnb in Vail, Colorado, bring it on. We'd love to have you in the network.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate all you do, and for Monroe and North Louisiana. And if there's anything we can do for you, let us know. We're happy to have you today.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Moxey, Rick Greene, thank you for being a part of Small Business Stories right here with the Monroe Chamber of Commerce.